Hej igen. Så er det tid til kapitel 4. Chapter 4, Larry has a plan. Come here, Dr. McPhee shouted to Larry. He was very angry. They were in front of the cowboy scene. Octavius, the Roman leader, was in with the cowboys. Larry smiled. It's not funny, shouted Dr. McPhee. The Romans can't be with the cowboys. This mustn't happen again, or, and he walked away. How can I do this job, Cecil? Asked Larry. Read books, said Cecil. Learn about history. I did. Then Larry saw Rebecca with some children. He followed and listened to her. She told him about the different things in the museum. It was interesting. Would you like a coffee? Larry asked her later. I'd like to learn about the museum. Rebecca and Larry had coffee. He asked her about the museum and about the beautiful Native American woman. That's Sacagawea, said Rebecca. She was very clever. She was good at finding places. She helped some of the first Europeans in America. She took them to the Pacific Ocean. Wow, said Larry. You like history a lot. Tell me about the tablet of Akhmen-Ra. Some people say it can give life to dead things. You move the different parts to make a picture, said Rebecca. But it's just a story. Oh yes, said Larry. But maybe it wasn't just a story. Larry had a plan for the next night at the museum. Goodbye, Larry, said Cecil. We're going now. Reg wants to be alone in this room for the last time. He's very sad. But Reg wasn't sad. His face was cold and hard. He took a key. He had a plan too. The guards left and Larry started work. First, he locked the Egyptian room. Then he took a small car. He put the bone on it. The car went around the museum and T-Rex followed it happily. Larry went to the head from Easter Island. Open your mouth, he said, and put a lot of gum in it. Said the head. Next, Larry went to look at the Roman and cowboy scenes. Octavius, Jedediah, come here, shouted Larry. Don't fight, be friends, said Larry. You can go into the museum, but you mustn't fight, okay? Okay, they said. Larry went to the room of African animals and locked the door. Then he went into the room of American history. He went to say hello to Sacagawea. Then he saw President Roosevelt near to Sacagawea's window. I know you like her, Teddy, said Larry. I think she's bored. Talk to her. The president went red. What do you mean? But just then, everything started to go wrong. Suddenly, Attila the Hun arrived. He wanted to fight with Larry again. Attila, please don't, said Larry kindly. I'm really very nice. Attila didn't understand. His men pulled Larry's arms and legs. Ow, shouted Larry. Then all the animals from the African animals room ran in. Attila and his men ran away. Dexter smiled at Larry. He had Larry's keys. There were animals all over the museum. Suddenly there was shouting from another room. All the cowboys and Romans were in a big fight. And there were more problems too. Larry heard a loud pop. But there was gum. Now there was gum all over the head from Easter Island. Larry put his head in his hands. He wanted to go home. President Roosevelt was angry. Do something, Larry. This is your job. I came back, Teddy. I tried. What can I do now? Larry was tired. You must teach everyone to be friends, said the president, and he walked away. Oh yes, thought Larry. How? It was early in the morning. The sun was almost up. A window was open. Larry saw a man in the road. He knew the man. The man lived in the museum. No, shouted Larry. He opened the door. The sun was there. It was too late. The man turned to dust. Det var kapitel 4. Nu begynder der at være lidt kaos. Og vi finder ud af, at præsident Roosevelt måske er lidt vild med hende indianer, damen Sacagawea. Og til sidst så finder vi ud af, at hvis man som museumsgenstand, person, kommer ud i sollyset, så bliver man altså forvandlet til støv, når man ser sollys. Vi kører på med kapitel 5. Something's wrong. Later that morning, Nicky and his friends went to the museum. My dad can take us around, said Nicky. They saw Larry and Dr. McPhee. I'm very, very angry, shouted Dr. McPhee. Everything's wrong. You're a very bad night god. Oh no, thought Nicky. Dad doesn't have a job now. He ran home. Tomorrow, said Dr. McPhee, everything must be okay. No more problems or no more job. Understand? I can't, and he walked away. Larry went to see Nicky. Do you want to come home with me tonight? He asked. Okay, Dad. Nicky smiled. He was happy because his dad still had a job. You can stay in the bathroom, said Larry. When the museum's empty, you can come out. There's a lot to see. Later that evening at the museum, Larry was excited. He wanted Nicky to see everything come alive. The sun went down, and Nicky came out of the bathroom. Now, Nicky, look at T-Rex, said Larry. Nicky looked, but T-Rex didn't move. Larry went to President Roosevelt on his horse. Teddy, he said, come on, this is my son. But the president didn't move. He was just a statue. Nicky, said Larry, believe me, when the sun goes down, everything in here comes alive. Dad, I'm not 5 years old, cried Nicky. It's the tablet, thought Larry. That's the problem. He ran to the Egyptian room. He looked at the wall, but the tablet wasn't there. The tablet gives life, he told Nicky. Someone took it. Nicky was angry. He didn't believe his dad, and he ran out. I'm going home, he shouted. A big car waited near the front doors of the museum. The tablet was on the road. Nicky saw it and took it. Then Larry saw Cecil, Reg, and Gus. What are you doing? Shouted Larry. Give me the tablet, son, Cecil said to Nicky. Don't, shouted Larry. Move the parts of the tablet, Nicky. Make a picture. Nicky moved them. Suddenly a yellow light came out of the tablet. Whoa, Dad, said Nicky. Give it to me, shouted Cecil. We're going to take it with us. We're going to take lots of things from the museum. Run, Nicky, Larry shouted. Nicky ran with the tablet. Cecil hit Larry hard. Everyone's going to think you took things, laughed Cecil. We put some in your room today. The 3 guards ran after Nicky to the Egyptian room. There was a short fight, and Cecil took the tablet from Nicky. Reg locked the doors. Larry and Nicky were alone in the pharaoh's coffin and the guards. Oh no, said Larry. The guards are alive. They're moving. Help! The guards moved very slowly. They came closer and closer. Just then, President Roosevelt arrived on his horse. Remember, Larry, men and guards follow their leader. What? Asked Larry. But the president went off on his horse. The guards came nearer and nearer. They were very angry. Larry thought about the president's words. Leaders, guards. Yes, I see. He ran quickly to the coffin and opened it. The young pharaoh Akhmenra sat up. He was alive. Please, shouted Larry, stop your guards. Akhmenra said something to the guards and they stopped. Yes, shouted Nicky. Akhmenra looked at him. You're the first person to open my coffin, he said. Thank you very much. Where's my tablet? Ah, said Larry, we have a little problem. Larry told Akhmenra about the museum guards and the tablet. Break the door, the pharaoh told his guards. Now find these men. Det var kapitel 5. Han tager Sønneke med på arbejde, og der sker ikke det helt store. Det er jo så fordi tabletten der, den er blevet taget af de gamle vagter, som gerne vil have nogle souvenirs med hjem, når de nu stopper deres arbejde. Og så går han hen og åbner Farao Ahmenras kiste, og så kommer han ligesom frem og siger, nu skal vi have styr på sagerne. Find min tablet. Det var kapitel 4 og 5. Kapitel 6, 7 kommer i morgen. Tak for nu.